Oh, everyone, what is up? Okay, that's actually the cringiest way I could have ever started this video. Anyway, I hope you're all in a very Christmassy spirit. If not, I will hopefully help with that with this video. Today is Christmas, and I know a lot of you guys will get presents. Some of you will even get money from their relatives, and with that money, some of you will want to buy new games. So I thought, let's give them a top 10 of games that they can buy with the money they got from Christmas or whatever, or New Year's. But what most of these videos do is they go over the top 10 of the most popular games these days, and every video will be the same ever since, like every channel will make the same kind of videos, and I want to do it differently. So I thought, what about the games no one talks about that are still hidden gems? So that's what I'll be talking about today. So what if I tell you there are less popular games that are as good or maybe even better than these popular games we have right now? Don't believe me? Well, maybe you're right. Okay, that's the end of the video. No, but in all Christmasness, I'll show you some games that I believe that you have missed out on. We're starting off with a game I started playing during my exams, which is not a good idea because this game is very, very addicting. And this game is called A Flame in the Flood. A Flame in the Flood is a survival game unlike any other survival game you've ever played before. There are two different modes you can play. There's a story mode and there's an endless mode. But I don't feel like I need to explain what those modes do. The game is situated in a very eye-pleasing environment wherein you and your companion dog, Aesop, I probably butchered that name, but he's a good boy, traverse a wild river on a raft, stopping between islands by choice. Your journey is also always randomly generated, so every playthrough is different. Upon docking by an island, you are to explore and gather materials, as well as prepare food, drinks, sleep, and/or craft items. A certain kind of island even lets you upgrade your raft, which can be a blessing in case you stop by an island that has a hostile creature such as wolves, boars, and a few other vicious animals. You're probably wondering, well, Cryptic, why is it a blessing? Why don't you just craft a weapon and kill these animals? Well, that's why this game is not your average survival game. Oh no. This game does not have real combat. You don't actually have craftable weapons other than a bow and arrow. Instead, you can gather materials to make your traps, which can insta-kill every animal except bears. Bears are just... Also, if a wolf ever comes after you, you can whip out your big flaming torch and he'll be very intimidated and thus will keep a distance from you. That's where I truly go Ooga Booga caveman style. Throughout the game there is a small variety of NPCs you can find who you can talk to and who will even give you a small gift for your further travels. Though you won't frequently find these NPCs since the game wants to make you feel like a lone traveler. Although this game doesn't look too difficult, it does have a steep learning curve and can be quite unforgiving sometimes. At the start of the game, you'll have very little pocket space. This can be upgraded by crafting, but it took me a while to do so. But don't worry, your friendly companion dog also has the ability to carry some items, which is great, because when you die, those items will carry over to your next playthrough. On top of that, your raft can also store a lot, but if your pockets are full and there are some essential items on your current island, and you're about to die from either bleeding, disease, thirst, hunger, hypothermia, or vicious animals, yes, there are a lot of ways to die, chances are big that you're dead by the time you run back to your raft, and then back to those essential life-saving items. In the Flame and Flood you also have many regions you'll pass through. Each region offers you more of a certain material depending on that region, so be sure to stock up on materials for you will not know if the next region will offer you enough resources. The cool thing is that when you die, you can see the path and distance you've traveled, so that's pretty neat. In general, this game is just a great game with an amazing art style and a very interesting set of gameplay mechanics. So yeah, I think for me it was a real hidden treasure. This is my companion dog. Sadly enough, she won't carry my stuff, but she's cute though. What show will I watch next? Oh, what is this? Vikings? This looks interesting. You know what other Vikings are interesting? The ones in Bad North. Bad North is a real-time strategy game with a very simplistic but effective art style. At the start of each playthrough you get to choose 2 commanders, each with their default amount of troops. Throughout the game you go from island to island defending the home of the innocent. You are to strategically place your commander around the island and fend off numerous waves of enemies. You're able to move around your army in order to make the best line of defense for the incoming enemies. For every house you're able to defend, you'll get rewarded with coins. Obviously, larger houses give more coins than smaller ones. If your troops seem to run low in numbers, you can invade these poor people's privacy and restock your men in their homes. This does take a lot of time and is very nerve-wracking when you see that the next wave contains 3 large ships of brutes and you only have 1 commander on the field. If you made some terrible strategic choices and you think you're going to lose your commander in battle, there is always the option to retreat, and your commanders will then hop on the boats the enemies came in and row away as fast as they can. If a commander dies in battle, they're permanent during the rest of your campaign, unless you find a one-time use item called the Holy Grail, which basically says fuck you to death and brings your commander back to life. When you proceed to the next turn on your map, some of the earlier islands you passed will become unavailable. When you use your commander in battle, they'll need to rest a turn before you can use them again. Along the way, you'll find lots of islands with flags on them. These flags mean that there is a recruitable commander on that island. The flag might carry the picture of an animal, in which case they have a special trait. These traits can vary between being able to take more damage or have a larger default troop count. If the picture has a white background, the trait will for now be unlocked as a starting trait for whenever you start a new campaign. As I said before, there are loads of items in the game that you can either use in battle or outside of battle, some of which are reusable and some of which are not. These can also be unlocked as starter items, which is pretty cool. Every commander starts off as basic swordmen. With the coins you earn, you can upgrade them to pikemen, archers or shieldmen. Each of these classes have different abilities that you can purchase. On top of that, you'll be able to upgrade their fighting skills and their held item. Keep in mind that for every island, you can only use 4 commanders. So that keeps you from becoming a Viking King of Doom. There are 8 types of enemies which will gradually unlock the further you proceed on the map. And basically that's all there is to this game. It's a great little game that really tests your strategic skills. Next up we have Forager. Forager is a fun and very extensive survival sandbox game. You are a small white pixel man character thingy that starts off with just a pickaxe and a passion to find out everything this world has to offer. At first, your world will be one big grassy square, but eventually you can buy new land and expand over a variety of biomes to discover. All resources randomly spawn and generate across those lands, and your job is to gather these resources. This will allow you to build and craft new things such as crafting stations, a windmill, a market, and even a slot machine that actually works. Oh, how I've wasted so much money on that. You don't immediately have access to these crafting recipes though, as you will be able to unlock them all with skill points that you gain by leveling up. Apart from crafting stuff and gathering resources, there are also plenty of dungeons, NPCs with quests, puzzles, and secrets you can discover upon buying new lands. Everything you complete, you'll be rewarded for, and all these rewards can vary. Some of them give you cool passive items that have passive effects which are so incredibly cool because you don't have to choose an item to equip. All of the passive effects are applied to you upon picking it up. Other rewards are rare resources, staffs, or even health and energy upgrades. You'll also find some events such as this. Seems innocent, but if you know, you know. There's also an achievement system which I really like. Unlike other achievement systems, upon completing an achievement, you'll be rewarded with clothing customization item. You can dress up in many different ways, and it's a fun and engaging way for those hardcore achievement hunters out there. There is so much to this game. I definitely recommend this game. It's just... oh. Okay, the name of the next game might sound a bit weird, and it might not be appealing to you at first sight, since it's more directed towards retro gamers, I feel like. But hear me out. Littlewood is a game very similar to Animal Crossing, and maybe even more advanced in certain aspects. Of course, Animal Crossing is amazing and I love it. But if you're looking for a similar game because you feel like you've completed Animal Crossing, then this game is for you. Littlewood is an adventure RPG simulation game in which a dark wizard has tortured the world. You are the hero that stopped him. When you wake up after your battle, you seem to have lost your memories, and it's now up to you to restore your town back to what it once was and make it a safe place. It's a great little game where you'll meet tons of characters, some of which you can invite to live in your own town. Every villager has their own requests on where they want to live and how they want their house decorated. In order to do these things, you need to go to the forest or to the caves to collect resources, or you can make a farm in your town where you can harvest crops, collect fruits, and collect resources from animals. There's also a store where you can unlock item blueprints and so on. Gathering resources gives you XP for that action, which is similar to the RuneScape leveling system. You'll need those levels to unlock new actions or treasure. You can even take one of the villagers along to go chop some wood or go fishing or whatever, and in the meantime this will strengthen your bond with them. Plus, they sometimes even randomly find some dewdrops, which is the currency of the game. And for those of you whose eyes are now twinkling, asking me the question, is there romance in this game? Yes, yes there is, let me tell you. You're even able to marry someone, and if you do, they'll move into your house, which is just adorable. There even is an entire wedding ceremony and everything, it's wow. The game has a lot of places to discover. Every building is upgradable. There even is an entire monster card battling system and lots of cards to collect. It has so much to offer, you can easily spend days playing this game. If this doesn't win you over, then I don't know what will. The last few games I talked about definitely have a lot of mechanics and can definitely be very intense. So why don't we switch over to something more relaxing? Don't you just love watching cats make sushi bento boxes? Because I sure do. Bento is a puzzle game in which you are shown a picture and have to recreate that bento box. It starts with some very simple introduction levels, but really scales up well with the player's capabilities. Every once in a while a new mechanic is introduced by the player to mix it up even more. And eventually these mechanics start to mix, which can sometimes prove to be rather challenging. In between certain levels you can hear a little soundscape playing and you'll see a picture of a mom, cat and her kitten in some daily situations, and it's just so adorable. The cool thing is that if you're playing it on your Nintendo Switch, you can point your controller in different directions and the picture will move along. It's a fun little extra feature they put in there, and if you ever want to see those pictures again, you're able to do so in the main menu. There really isn't much I can say about this. It's a very fun little puzzle game with very cute animations and pictures of cats. I never thought it would be so much fun. Now I want to eat sushi. I love arcade and rhythm games, so I decided to try my hand at Neon Drive. Neon Drive is an arcade-style rhythm game, which is not only captivating with its incredible graphics, but also its great synthwave music. This game does not have a story, but focuses more on delivering a returning mechanic but in different arcade styles. You'll start off by simply avoiding blocks and cars on the street by pressing left and right on the beat. Actually that rhymes, I just noticed. But when going on to next levels, you'll find yourself in many fun, challenging and different variants of this mechanic. There's an endless mode for this as well, which is a good thing since the game can easily be completed in a short amount of time. Nevertheless, I found myself playing the game with my brain shut off, listening to music and looking at the beautiful graphics this game has to offer. So I think it's definitely worth a shot. I've never really been a fan of racing games. I did not mean to actually push it off the couch, okay. Most likely because I'm terrible at them. But if I do play these kind of games, I love being able to just go at incredible speeds and I love just driving mindlessly, since they won't allow me to do so in real life. This game offers me the chance to do so. You can follow the story, play custom maps, or even race others or others' ghosts. It also doesn't just stay with just driving. You can practically boost from start to finish, wall and ceiling riding is a thing. You can even fly if you want to. It has very interesting mechanics. Not only that, but the ambient, the feeling the game reflects really hits the spot. At times it's just so serene, other times it makes you feel very small, and there are times where it makes you feel badass. But I mean, I'm already used to that. This is one of the games you might have seen somewhere, but couldn't find the name of. So here you go, this one's for you. By the way, I don't recommend the steering wheel for this game, since a controller will do, and you'll have to do some aerial tricks, so I don't think this will be very helpful with that. But you'll learn eventually. For some of you, this next game might not be new, but I noticed that a lot of people don't know this game, and I think it's such a great game. It's a shame to not know about it. It's a great game to play. You can just sit back, relax, and mindlessly slay monsters as well as bosses. It's amazing. The game is called Risk of Rain 2, and this game can be either played alone, with friends, or with other random people from around the world. And don't be afraid, every player fights with each other, not against each other. So if you're afraid of people leaving you in the dust, don't be. Risk of Rain 2 is a roguelike third-person shooter with up to 10 unlockable characters and more to come. Each character has their own ability set, and by doing challenges, you can even unlock more and upgrade abilities for these characters. Sadly enough, these challenges are very hard in my opinion, so I haven't been able to unlock any of those yet. But I'm not giving up hope. My time will come. right? This game offers you a few playthrough possibilities, but the main playstyle remains the same between these playthroughs. When starting the game, you choose which difficulty you'll play on, and when you've done the trials, you also have the possibility to mix up the game with some artifacts. And if you've done some trials, you also have the possibility to mix up the game with artifacts that apply new game rules to your match. You will then spawn on the first level, which is the same as always, and start slaying monsters left and right. This earns you money, which you can use to open up chests that spawn all across the map. They will give you items that will buff your character during your entire playthrough. But do you know what's the best part about it? All these items are stackable, and you can stack them up all the way to, and I have to watch for this because I cannot remember this number, 2,147,483,647 times. Like, come on, that's insane. That is just how? I shouldn't have that much power. As long as you don't die, the difficulty will keep increasing over time. And the fun thing about this is that it will eventually start mocking you until it goes insane. It will just laugh at you eternally. However, this doesn't always mean that you get to that point. There are altars you need to complete in order to go over to the next level, the next world. And by activating such altars, you will spawn a boss monster which you have to defeat. The boss monsters themselves are not too difficult, and you'll learn their patterns rather quickly. But when spawning the boss, you'll also start a monster breeding machine, and if you don't keep it under control, you'll quickly get overrun by the smaller monsters. And it's not like you can just use the entire map to fight this boss. No! You have to stay in a certain area to complete the process at the same time. If you've defeated a boss and completed the process, you'll then have to activate the altar again, and all your coins will turn into XP. This does mean that you'll have to start earning money again in the next world, and you can't save them up to take it with you to the next level. If you don't plan on going endlessly, you'll be able to go to the end level after you've completed level 5. This will bring you to another level in which you'll have to make your way to the end boss. This end boss is very intimidating with his moveset, but it's not too hard to beat. The game has some more secret stages you can discover, and you're also able to do trials which grant you artifacts upon completion, which is pretty cool. Other than that, you can do a prismatic trial, which is a solo game mode in which you compete against other players over the fastest time on completing a set 2 levels. These levels change every 72 hours, and doing this can unlock a new item in the game. And if you manage to beat the trial without losing any health when playing with the character Mercenary, you'll unlock a new ability for this character. I think this game is 100% worth it, and I have already spent many hours playing this game, so I would definitely recommend this one. It's a very good game. If you're looking for a horror game with superb ambience and you don't like typical jump scares or typical mainstream mechanics, then Little Nightmares might be for you. In Little Nightmares, you play as a kid in a yellow raincoat that is trapped on a sort of ship structure somewhere in the ocean. Soon you notice that giant human-like creatures inhabit this structure and you try to escape this place as it creeps you out. But if you ever get caught, they'll lock you up and eventually grind you into a saucy meatball you think just eat you up and I'm not kidding actually, like I'm really not kidding. The level design of this game is amazing and you often have to climb on your surroundings in order to progress. The structure of the level blends so well into the gameplay, it's truly amazing. If I talk too much about this game, I will ruin the experience, so you better go check it out yourself since it's an amazing game and I definitely suggest picking it up if you want an eventful night. Would you believe me if I said I used to breakdance? Floor Kids is an interesting little game about breakdancing. You go from place to place, showing off your moves and trying to collect as many stars as possible. You can gain points by busting new moves, making smooth and many different transitions between them, and pacing yourself to the rhythm of the music. Your score is based on these 4 categories: musicality, originality, feel, and style. You can unlock up to 8 characters, all with their own speciality and different moves. There are 16 different moves and over 100 different transitions between them, and let me tell you, that's a lot. The movesets differ from top rocking to low rocking, to power moves, and even to freezes. Between your dancing, you also have a break, which is the part where the drum gets a small solo and you as a b-boy or b-girl then have to do a small skill check, which is nice to switch up the gameplay for a bit. There are 8 locations, each with 3 tracks to beat. You can earn up to 5 stars for each stage, and if you earn more than 3 stars, you gain 1 out of 4 cards to unlock the breakdancer that is currently at that location. And if you ever want a battling experience, there is a couch PvP mode where you can battle a friend, which is so much fun. So if you're too afraid of trying it in real life, why not just try the water here with Floor Kids? And those are all the 10 games you have missed out on. Of course, I have a lot more of these games, so if you guys like these videos. I will surely make more of them, but you'll have to comment down below if you like them. Now you can go and celebrate the holidays, perhaps with a new game. Here in Belgium, it might not be a white Christmas, but that doesn't mean we cannot celebrate it. Be sure to like, comment down below if I've shown you a game that you have never heard of before, and also be sure to subscribe for more content. And with that, I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. See ya, Wazzers.